Hello and welcome to this video. As you have read the title of the video, it is about two new IDEs. One is Zed and another is Lap. So for programmers, text editor or IDE is a very personal thing. Some people get hooked to classical editors like VI and Emacs, while others use modern editors, JetBrains editors like PyCharm or IntelliJ for Java, and so on. JetBrains has plenty of editors, CLAN and so on. And then many others prefer to use free version of editors like VS Code. Earlier we had Atom, some use Genie, and some use Eclipse. So there are lots of editors in the market. If you look at the history, in the earlier days, most of the editors were programmed using C or C++. Then Java came into picture and we started using Java to code the editors, and then Electron.js came and VS Code is built on Electron.js, so was Atom. So the problem with these languages like Java or Electron is twofold. One is they are slower in execution speed, and second, they consume a lot of memory. Now, there are obvious reasons why Java-based editor will consume more memory, because since the memory is released automatically, unless the garbage collector runs, you will consume extra RAM. Okay, it is not uncommon for Eclipse to consume 2 GB RAM. Okay, because when I used to use Eclipse about 13-14 years earlier, I used to set the heap size to 2 GB at least, otherwise Eclipse would not perform very well. So that's the Java side of it. Java is quite fast though, but I've seen that on large project JetBrains IDEs lag. And then I started using VS Code. Now the problem with VS Code is that it effectively maintains a browser to edit the files. So if you open lots of tabs for lots of files, what happens is Node.js VS Code spawns a lot of processes, okay, and those processes consume a lot of RAM. And obviously, it is slower in nature. When I say slower, I'm talking about relatively slower. So recently, I came to know about this editor Lapce. I was going through Awesome Rust on GitHub, and I saw the editor section, and there it was mentioned Lapce. I immediately looked at it, and this is how it looks like. It is not very beautiful right now. The UI is a bit clunky, but it works. For most of the things, it works. Extensions are not many, but for what I use it for, it works. So I write Svelte code, it is there, Rust, it is there, Python, C, C++. So it is there for me. For other things, it may not work for you because a lot of extensions are missing. But many extensions are coming. Now this is based on Rust, this editor. So now Rust having the support for threading, while JavaScript or Electron.js does not have support for threading, it does not spawn processes. Okay, I don't mind giving RAM to processes which do actual work. For example, suppose I am working on a project like Rust project, and Rust Analyzer kicks in, it analyzes all the libraries and gives me helpful suggestions. And autocomplete this, that nonsense, whatever you can, whatever you would want from a language server, it gives that. So if it consumes 3-4 GB RAM, I'm fine with it. My laptop has plenty of RAM, 40 GB, so I don't mind if Rust Analyzer uses 40 GB. But spawning a process for every tab I open is simply not acceptable. But I had no choice, so I used to use VS Code. Now Lapce has come. It is usable. There are certain aspects which are not very good, but you have to also consider that the current release is 0.3.1. We usually mark software is stable by version 1. It is right now in alpha release, or I think beta or alpha. So for such a pre-release software, it works very nicely. It also has VI mode, modal editing is there. So you just have to enable it. So you can enable it here. Control Shift P, yeah. Modal, clunky, yeah, but it works. So similarly, yeah. So you can enable modal editing here. You have insert, so you can press. You are in insert mode, so you can type, and then you are in normal mode. You can copy and paste like that. You can delete the entire line. So VI shortcuts work in this. So one is Lapce. Then I came to know about another editor. It is Zed. Sadly, right now it works only on Mac OS. But this is also made in Rust. So effectively, we are seeing a change in paradigm shift that new editors are not being programmed in Electron.js or Java. So these editors, which would be written in Rust, would definitely perform a lot faster than Electron.js or Java code, as you can see in the benchmark. So I have great expectations from these editors. And the good thing about Zed is that it is being created by the same guys who did Atom Editor. Now, if you remember Atom Editor from GitHub, which was decommissioned in 2022, one of the best aspects of Atom was that it was highly customizable, much like Emacs. Now, one of my major gripes at code editors is that they make it hard to write macros. For example, Emacs has a setting that you can define a macro by writing a Lisp function, and then you can invoke that function by using alt text and then function name, and it will do its work. But in Lapce or VS Code or Zed, I don't think such functionality will be there. There will be customization options, but I think Zed will have much better customization options because the Atom guys who are doing it will think about it. Now there is more to it. So what is more is that it supports GitHub Copilot extension or GPT-4 in the editor. So obviously it will make life of a developer much easier. You can refactor or generate code very easily. So I'm waiting for a Linux release of Zed editor. As soon as it is there, I will try it and I'll record a video. I don't have a MacBook Pro right now. My earlier MacBook Pro got fried and it is done for. So maybe in few years I'll buy a MacBook Pro again. Right now I'm working on a Lenovo Legion laptop on which Manjaro Linux is there with Cinnamon. So as soon as the Linux version of Zed Editor comes out, I will try. And I have great expectation from both Lapce and Zed. And maybe I'll use both of them, but I certainly want to get rid of VS Code. I definitely want to get rid of VS Code. It is not worth to use VS Code once this editor comes out. So I hope you have found this video useful, and let's wait. Try these editors. That's what I will say. If you have MacBook Pro, you can try Zed Editor and Lapce both. If you don't have a Zed Editor, you can try. If you don't have a MacBook Pro, try Lapce. So this is the Lapce repository. So in the Lapce repository, you can see that it was last release was made on December 5th, 2023. So I'll expect that 0.3.2 or a different version will be released soon enough, because if you look at the release cycle, they release quite frequently. So if I look at 0.3.0, it was done on 1st November. Then 0.2.8 was done on June 2. So yeah, maybe in a month or two we should be expecting a release. Or if you want to experiment, you can try the nightly release. Okay, this should work very well because it's quite alpha software. The code is coming in for Lapce. Very soon we should have a stable release in a year or two. And similarly for Zed, I would expect it to be soon, coming soon. So good days are ahead. Okay, great things are happening in the Rust ecosystem. So if you have enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, share and like videos for more such videos. And yep, happy programming.